What's going on, you guys? My name is Zach Hartley and welcome back to another weekly watch list video. In this series, I share with you the stocks that are at the top of my watch list going into Monday morning. So if you get any value from that, remember to click that like and subscribe button and let's jump right in. Okay, so the big news this week actually came from a company called BitFarm. They're based in Canada here and they're a cryptocurrency miner. And the big news that came out is that they were just recently approved to list on the Nasdaq global market. And what's exciting about this is that they are the first Bitcoin miner to achieve this. And they have had a lot of news come out recently, which has sent the stock pretty high. So just recently, they announced a purchase of 6,600 miners coming in over the next few months. They also plan to double their installed power to support those miners. And so they are very, very quickly scaling up. And on Friday, with that news of the Nasdaq listing, they were up over 23%, which is really nice to see. So this one is very exciting. I am currently holding BitFarms. I'm also holding Hive and Hut 8. I'm doing extremely well on them. I'm currently up 21.99% on BitFarms, and I even shared my investment here with my private Discord group. I posted it on March 10th and I said I bought stock in BitFarm. I did my analysis. I compared the hash rate, the current price of the companies, and I thought BitFarm showed the best value. So I added them to my portfolio and I shared that with my private Discord group. If you're interested in joining that, definitely check out the links in the description to this video. Now, let's jump into this week and do a quick analysis of where we're at in the general market. And in order to do that, we're going to start by looking at our indices. The first one we're going to look at is the Nasdaq, which basically represents technology. And as you can see, last week, 2 weeks ago, we hit an all-time high at 14,211, but this week was a little rough. We basically came all the way back down to around 13,500. We found a little bit of support on Thursday. We had a nice gap up on Friday, but overall, we took a pretty decent hit in just this week. So it wasn't a good week for the Nasdaq overall, but it was a good week for the S&P 500. We actually closed at an all-time high, and as you can see, all the way back to like May and June of last year, the S&P 500 has been on a pretty steady, basically gradual incline here. It's pretty bullish, and if you look at our moving averages, they're hardly crossing over the last kind of year and a half. So this has been a pretty steady and gradual march upwards, which is really nice to see for the S&P 500. This index kind of represents the broader market as a whole, and then when you look at the Dow Jones, this is more focused on the industrial sector, and as you can see, we also set a high here, an all-time high here on Friday. And so very nice to see from the markets. You can see that tech took a little bit of a hit, but the other two kind of indices that represent the markets are doing extremely well. Now, when you look at Bitcoin, it was a good week for Bitcoin. As you can see, about 2 weeks ago, we had that massive fall off here where we dropped down to about 47.5, and now since then, we're back up and approaching $60,000. You can see that 60,000 has acted as a pretty key level for us a few times here, and we're now coming right back up to that key level again. Now, when you look at the Dogecoin, I'm filming this before Elon Musk gets on Saturday Night Live, so I don't know what has happened since then, but as I take this screenshot, it's currently trading at 66 cents, and I looked up the price that it opened on January 1st of this year, and since then, the math shows that it's up about 14,000%. So if you just put a couple $1,000 in Dogecoin on January 1st, you would have done mind-blowingly well, which is just absolutely crazy for a meme cryptocurrency. But that's the world that we live in right now, and we'll see what happens with Elon on Saturday Night Live. Now, when it comes to COVID in the USA, the numbers continue to go down, which is really nice to see. You can see right here, it's basically tailing off, and this is definitely due to the vaccine rolling out and everything that's happening, but it's definitely very good to see. However, when you look at India, again this week, we set a record high at over 400,000 new cases per day, which is definitely not very good to see. They are still in crisis mode, and this could definitely continue to ripple throughout the globe. So definitely not a good thing to see. Now, when we look at earnings this week, we've got a lot of things going on. First of all, we've got Workhorse, we've got Virgin Galactic. This stock has just fallen off a cliff in the last few months. We've also got Palantir, we got Lemonade, we've got Schrodinger right here. Where are they? Right here. We got Schrodinger, Wix, Alibaba, Xpeng, Disney, Airbnb. We got a lot of big companies that are reporting this week. And so what I did is I actually didn't know a lot of these companies. I just didn't know what they are. So I did a lot of research this week, and I'm actually going to show you a couple of the companies that are on here that are new to me, but I do think there could be an opportunity here. I looked at like 20 or 30 of them, and I'm only going to show you 2 or 3, so it should be pretty good. But what I want to start with this week is Lululemon. Now, the reason I like Lululemon is because when you look at the stock chart, you can see that the price has very clearly been rejected at $390 once right here in September 2020, and again right here in December of 2020. The price has also found support at around $270 once right here in September of 2020, and again right here in March of 2020. And so we've got a double top, we got a double bottom. That means that we're trading within a channel. Now, since that most recent rejection, we've got a very clear trend line that had formed here. Basically, you could connect these different highs within this price action. And since then, the price has broken through that trend line, which is a bullish sign. We also have the price breaking through our 2 moving averages. We have the MACD breaking above 0 and a crossover here. We got a little bit of increasing volume back here, and the RSI is kind of in the middle right now. So overall, we have now entered a bullish trend with Lululemon. I think we do have the opportunity to run back up to 380, 390. So if we see positive action come Monday, Tuesday, I would enter the trade. I'd put a stop loss just under support right here, and I would try and exit the trade before we hit that next level of resistance. If it looks like we have a whole lot of momentum and we're just going to blow through it, I'd put a trailing stop loss on it, and I would enter the position that way. I do like Lululemon. I like the company. I like the product, and they're growing still pretty quickly. So I really like that. Now, next company I want to talk about is Jack Nathan Medical Corporation. I did make a video about these guys several months ago, but since then, the stock has pretty much traded in a very steady bearish pattern all the way down to 57 cents. But since then, the price has rebounded off of 57 cents. It has started to move up, and the stock is actually up 35% since April 16th. Now, this doesn't look like a huge move here because it came down from $1.40, but from the lows to where it's at now, it's already up over 35%. It's broken through both our moving averages. It's broken through the trend line. We got a little bit more volume here on Thursday and Friday, and the indicators are also starting to look a little bit more positive. So I've got a close eye on Jack Nathan Medical Corporation. The company is growing quickly. I like what they're doing. I like the business model, and they're basically riding the infrastructure that's already in place. So I like everything that they're doing. If you want to know more about them, definitely check out my channel. Now, the next company is Shopify. This one is really, really important because it is basically bouncing off of these big round numbers. So as you can see, we've got 1100 right here. This is a key level, and as you can see, every green arrow here is an area where the price has bounced off of 1100. You can see right now we're sitting at $1,108, and when I say it's bounced off 1100, what I'm referring to is 5 or 10% plus or minus from 1100. And so it's not always going to bounce off right on the line, but it should be bouncing off right around the line. That's what we're looking for, and that would represent support. And as you can see, that has already happened several times. And so my anticipation and my expectation here is that we have support at 1100. And as long as the price doesn't fall below that kind of $1,050, $1,000 level, I do expect the price to rise higher. Shopify just had fantastic earnings. The company is growing exponentially fast. They have amazing margins, and the company is just a fantastic stock to own. So I like the company. I'd put my stop loss at 990, and I would try and take my first profit right around 1300, just below 1300 here, so that we don't get rejected and then come back down. And I would try and take my second level of profit around 1500 if we just blow through that. So that's how I would play Shopify. That's what I would be looking for, and that's what I would be excited about. Now, the next company here is Poshmark. This is a company that is reporting this week. They were on the picture that I showed you earlier. I didn't know much about them, so I did some research on them, and I actually really like what they're doing. So they're a platform for clothing resale. So if you have Lululemon clothing, for instance, those are $100 pants, $150 pants. And so if you don't want to just donate them and you don't want to try and sell all your clothes to your friends, you can put them on Poshmark, and it's a platform that's specifically designed for kind of nice clothing. And so you can resell it on there. They take a small commission and you ship it out. And what I like about the company is that since they became publicly listed, all they have done is fall totally off a cliff. They went from $104, now trading at like $44, and they've basically been trading within this channel for about 2 months right now. And so I like the company because I think it has fallen off a cliff. It's coming down to a very key level here where it probably represents some value, and all of the metrics I could find when looking at this company were positive. The revenue is growing, and here's a photo of the active buyers in thousands broken down by quarter. And so over the course of 2 years, they went from 4,190 180 active buyers to over 6,400 active buyers, and that represents a 50% increase in a matter of 2 years. So that seems like very good growth for me, and a company that has only gone down since it was listed is now consolidating. So what I am watching for is a breakout of this consolidation right here. I'm basically looking for it to kind of break through this 45.50 level. That's when I'm going to enter it, because I do think it's a good company. All the metrics are going in the right way, but the stock is going in the opposite direction, and that's what represents opportunity for traders. Now, the next company that is on my radar going into Monday is Peloton. The reason Peloton is on my radar is because the stock was trading as high as $171, and it is now down to $83. It is down by over 50%, and just in the last few days, they have run into some very major issues. So their treadmill, a video that's gone around, and they've faced a lot of lawsuits just in the last few days because little kids were getting caught underneath the treadmill, and it is a major issue. Multiple lawsuits are out, and my understanding is that they haven't recalled the treadmill yet, and so that is raising a lot of concern, and that is why you can see a giant spike in the volume here. And so what I am concerned about is if this blows up and if this continues and if they have to pull back all of those treadmills, they're going to run into a lot of trouble. And so what I am looking for come Monday is I am looking for either a bounce off of 80, or I'm looking for it to fall through 80, and that might represent a shorting opportunity, because I think the company was really betting on the treadmill working out for them, because there's going to be a lot of competition coming to that bike space. And so I think the treadmill was really that next bet for them. And if that doesn't work out for them and they have to recall it and it actually becomes a liability for them, I think that could be a major hit to this company that still is fairly expensive. So I am a little bit concerned about Peloton, and I think that could represent an opportunity for me to go short on the stock. Now, if you're interested in learning how to do that or how to analyze these charts just a little bit better, then you should definitely consider signing up for my Stock Market Fundamentals course. It is completely free, and it's hosted on Skillshare, and that's where you'll find over 9 hours of content that will walk you through step by step everything you need to know about how to get started and build a strategy. There's over 4,800 students that have gone through the course. There's over 225 reviews for you to take a read through, and I would love to share it with you. Over 80% of the reviews say it exceeded their expectations, and I promise you it'll be the best free resource that you can find online. The link is in the description to this video, and I promise you it won't be a waste of your time. It will be a great free resource. So definitely check it out. But let's move on to the next company. And this one here is Upwork. The reason I'm really interested in Upwork is because this $40 level has acted as a very key level. It first acted as resistance right here in December, and since then the stock has bounced off 40 once right here in March, again right here at the end of March, and again right here at the beginning of May. And so I'm watching for 140 to hold up, because if it does hold up, I think there's an opportunity for it to go back up to $50 very easily, or it could drop down to this kind of $35-$40 level right here. But I think it's going to do one of two things. It's either going to bounce or it's going to fall from $40. I'm going to wait and make sure that I have very clear confirmation of what it's going to do before I enter the position, but I do think there's a good opportunity here. And when you compare Upwork to other companies such as Fiverr, for instance, they're showing very similar patterns. And so what I'm going to do is watch both of them going into Monday and Tuesday, make sure that I can understand the direction that they're going and why they're going in that direction. And then if I can get a good trade on it, I'm either going to scalp them short, or I'm going to take a ride up from $42, $43 all the way to $50 and try and take that little trade there, possibly in options or by trading the stock. Now, the next company I want to share with you is Etsy. The reason I want to share Etsy with you is because I think Etsy is going to grow drastically over the next 5 years. I think they're going to do extremely well. I like the business model, and I like what they are doing. I think it's a great opportunity for anybody that has a product that's not either ready to sell on Amazon or doesn't want to sell on Amazon. I think Etsy is the perfect solution. And so I really like their business model, but the stock has taken a massive hit over the last little while. It was trading as high as $250. It's now trading at $165, and this is a very key level because it acted as resistance back here in October. It is now down back at that exact same level. Even though Etsy is growing extremely fast, I do think there's an opportunity here. And so if 160 holds out, I'm expecting it to trade sideways for a little bit. But if we can see a break back upwards to 170, 180, I think there's a great opportunity in Etsy. And you can see here that it came all the way down and major volume stepped in and bought up at 160. I think that's because Etsy has a lot of value in this this 160 area. Other people noticed that, other people saw it. It's now in the oversold zone, and I think Etsy is a great opportunity, especially if you're a long-term investor. Etsy is fantastic, and if you're a short-term investor, I think you wait here, you make sure 160 is going to hold, and then you buy in when you have confirmation. Now, next company that I want to show you is Beyond Meat. I've talked about this company several times on my channel. I've even made, I think, 2 or 3 trades on it, but as of right now, I want to point it out because it is falling through support, and this is not a very good sign. As you can see, 120 has acted as a major level of support for almost a year and a half now. It has bounced off 120 pretty much every time it has come down to this level, and just recently on Friday, it fell down to 110. Now, this is super important because this is the first time it's traded this low in over a year and a half. We have massive volume right here, and we have pretty much all bearish signs on our indicators. It is starting to trade in the oversold zone, so it may start to show a little bit of value here, but I do think it's going to continue to go down, and so I am watching Beyond Meat very closely because if it continues to fall, I do think there's another opportunity here for a short play. Now, I know I'm talking a lot about shorts right now, and it's because a lot of these smaller growth companies are getting hit very hard, and as a trader and as an investor, you need to go in the direction of the market, and you need to take advantage of what the market is showing you. But if you are going to short, make sure that you understand the risk behind it. Make sure that you know how to protect yourself, and if you don't know how to do it, you need to watch some of my YouTube videos. Now, last company that I want to show you here is Open Door. This is another company that's reporting earnings this week that was on that chart that I showed you earlier that had the earnings from Earnings Whisper, and I did some research on this company, and I like what they're doing. The reason I like what they're doing is because you can pretty much sell your home from a mobile application with pretty much a cash offer, and I think there's a lot of that going on these days. And the home market right now is absolutely on fire. I don't know what it's like around you right now, but in my neighborhood, it feels like every second or third house is either up for sale, being flipped, or was just recently sold. And so there's a lot going on in the housing market. I think it is extremely hot right now, but because all of the financials are delayed for these companies, I don't think we're able to see any of those numbers. But as of right now, I do want exposure to the housing market, especially the sales side of the housing market, because I think that it is just an opportunity for exponential growth right now, because I think the number of homes being sold is skyrocketing right now, and if you are a platform that enables those sales, I think you have a great opportunity. However, investors aren't going to be able to see those numbers for a couple of months, and so as these companies go down, I think they represent more and more value. Now, if you're interested in seeing more of my technical analysis and the stocks that I'm buying and selling, then you should definitely consider signing up for our private Discord chat. That's where I'm trying to build a community of traders to share their analysis, the research, the trades that they make, and all of the basically fundamental due diligence so that you're not sitting alone at home having to do it all yourself. You can be part of a community where we all share that information. I share my weekly watch list, all of my technical charts, and the analysis that I have in the markets, just like what you saw with BitFarms earlier in this video. So if you're interested in signing up for that, the link is in the description to this video. It's $5 per month, and I would love to have you there. You can also sign up by clicking that join button right next to the subscribe button. That should also be checked off. Now, my game plan for next week. Number one is I'm planning to hold some cash. I do think there's a little bit of volatility in the market. We're at all-time highs, and so if you don't have a position in a company right now, you need to make sure that you are doing your own due diligence. You need to make sure that you're doing your research, you're waiting for confirmation, and you have an exit plan and a stop loss in place in case you are wrong. Now, if you get any value out of this video, remember to click that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Good luck trading, good luck investing, and we'll talk to you soon.